moving on to text box. Are the students going to be doing the assessment individually? Are they going to be in small groups? Are they going to have a chance to talk about it before they do the assessment? What will this look like? And then just provide a rationale for your choices. There is no right or wrong answer. We're not looking for the most progressive or the most unique or the most innovative way to give an assessment. It can be straightforward. The students took the assessment after they finished their activity, after they finished their lesson. They were sitting at their desks and they each did it on their own because I wanted to see how each student performed on the assessment. Doesn't matter what it is. Describe what kind of things the students will be doing during the assessment and why you are having them do that. And then this next part, what materials, resources, and technology will you use? Provide a rationale for your choices. So what is it that you need for this assessment? Is it that you just need paper and pencil and the rubric to grade it? What will you need to administer the post-assessment after your lesson? And notice you do need to include technology in some way, but in this context, the definition of technology for PPAT is any tool that you use to aid in the teaching and learning of whatever you are doing. So technology can be anything, any tool that you use with your students for this lesson. It does not have to be electronic. It can be electronic, but it does not have to be. If you want to do something like a poll everywhere or a Kahoot, something like that, that's perfectly fine, but you do not have to do anything that is electronic. And if you're unsure about technology, just let me know and we can work through it together. For text box 2.1.3, you are going to look at your two focus students, whoever you've chosen, focus student 1 and focus student 2, and you will describe their different learning needs and how you will modify the assessment for those two specific students. And it needs to be two different ways that you are going to modify the assessment. So do not pick two students who both need the same modification, if possible. And don't forget about the higher students, the Excel students. They can also have a modified assessment. It does not have to be modified for a struggling student. You need to talk about why you chose the two students that you did. And in this part, I know we talked about pseudonyms in class, but you can just refer to them as Focus Student 1 and Focus Student 2, or shorthand it to FS1 and FS2. You're going to talk about your baseline data for these two students. Remember, baseline data is your pre-assessment. Your baseline data is your pre-assessment, whatever you've chosen for your pre-assessment. And then based on their learning needs, how will you modify? So tell me about your students, why you chose them, what's their post or pre-test data, and how will you modify the assessment for them? And again, make sure you provide that rationale when it asks. So that is 2.1.3, focusing on your two chosen focus students.